I feel like we're fortunate that the women who have come before us, and we know these things probably existed back then, but the women who came before us have a concept of beauty that forced you to deal with certain things. And don't get me wrong, back when our grandmothers were growing up, there were still creams and soaps and lotions and all kind of tonics that were out there to make you a certain skin color and things. We knew all this existed, right? But see, the thing about it is, there's a price to pay when you take shortcuts to something that was not a reality. Excuse me, I know my throat was going to start acting up. When you look at the article right here, right? This is an everyday story of someone going to Mexico, someone going to Dominican Republic, someone going some other country outside of the United States and getting cheap surgery. So you all know of that FBA lady, I believe she's an FBA, that went and got some illegal butt injections some years ago. It could be over 10 years ago now, but it could be under that. I don't remember her name. Very professional woman. She just wanted some enhancements, or I guess that's the way it was put. She goes into surgery because she reacted bad. Guess what she does now? Travels the country with no arms and no legs. Because whatever was injected in her caused her to lose all of her limbs. But for what it's worth, she's still alive. She still educates people on not letting that happen to you. The young lady here is not so lucky. See, she thought this 2-for-1 special for $4K was better than paying the equivalent of $25K in the United States. When you see the disparity in that price, it would send up alarm bells for most of us. And before I finish my commentary, understand that this is not a criticism video of this woman. She was an FBA, but I'm not here to criticize. I am here to point things out and to warn. Okay. Her family made what I thought was a great statement, that they want to warn people about the dangers of plastic surgery. And yeah, there's associated risk even in the United States, but your rate of death is significantly lower because of the laws and the cleanliness we have in place. And not to say that that was unclean in Mexico. Oh, we'll get back to that in a minute. But while that statement was factual, and to them anyway, understand that this is not the first time FBA women were so desperate to look a certain way that they didn't get themselves in trouble in these countries. As much as I dislike that this lady died and left 2 daughters behind, taking a shortcut by spending less probably cost her life. And if you know this story, then you'll understand this dude's advertisement had black women on it. He was advertising directly to black women because of your spending power. And earlier I was watching another YouTuber, I won't inject their name in this, about spending power and black women's spending power. Because to me, I think black girl magic is absolutely garbage, and it's an excuse to get us to spend our money way more than we save, and instead of investing, buying houses and putting it into things that's going to benefit us more as a community. See, this doctor knew how to advertise to you. And see, the reason he knew how to advertise to you is because he plays into your need to want to spend and want to consume. Because now they call us FBAs. At least I can't say for all other women in the diaspora. We're called super consumers. And this story is a classic example of why that's a terrible thing. See, the simple thing to have said was, sweetie, why can't you just over time lose the weight in small increments? And see, the counter argument to that would be that genetics doesn't make things that easy, and it doesn't. But this wasn't about that. See, we're still on Sarah Bartman more than 100 or 200 years after her death, right? Because I think Sarah was 200 years ago. I'll have to look it up. Well, we have to have that big butt to show off. Look, this is not a video about a rant about telling you how to live and what to do with your body. But plenty of FBA women are dying. See, what should concern you is because this person, it's been confirmed when I say of Mexico. Let me get to this point first before I get to Mexico. What should concern you is that because it was put out on the streets that you are a super consumer, makes you a target for people like this. Because let's get to Mexico now. How he advertised to you, right? Because when you look at this advertisement, he advertised to you. I'm letting this all sink in. This is why we're having quiet time. He advertised to you based on the propaganda that was put out. And this young 30-something-year-old mother, somewhere in this country, 2 little girls are now without their mother. Because an unlicensed doctor, and yes, they've proven that he was unlicensed to do the things that he did to her. An unlicensed doctor decided to perform surgery because you're so desperate to look a certain way and to fit a certain image that you were just an easy target. See, it would be easy for someone to be naive and say, oh, he just put any black girl on there just to show you what he could do. But come on, you don't expect me to believe that he knows we're super consumers? According to the propaganda here. And that he put up the exact type of video vixen black woman that some of y'all want to be. Connect these dots. I'm not going to sit here and talk about how we're all beautiful and stuff, because some people who do this deep down look in the mirror and don't like what they see. But what I'm asking you to do, okay, is just be mindful of the propaganda sold to you, because he's in Mexico. The chances that he's going to get prosecuted, the United States has no jurisdiction there, and she went of her own free will. That doesn't make it right. That doesn't mean he should have done this to her. FBAs, you better start getting hip to all of the propaganda that sells you a golden dream, or you'll continue to get swept up in a nightmare.